Not happy with your current place in life? Want to make a change but don't know where to start? Scared you'll always be stuck dreaming, never actually doing? The fact that you are actually experiencing this presentation right now is proof that there's a way out, because I was right there and these are my thoughts too. Hi, my name is William Ramos and this is my show Being on my new channel, WIllsWayE. Here we tackle the mental barriers that hold us back from our true potential. Before we do though, can you take a second to download the Mindset PDF link to have for reference? For later, and have it now. Don't look at it, just have it ready. Got it? Good. So, at the end of the day, I want you to feel more fulfilled, more accomplished, that you can do anything you set your mind to. All right. How do we actually begin to make our lives better? I want you to understand three things. First is that all action comes from thought. Everything, big or small, you and all of humanity has ever done or will ever do first started with a single thought. Before actions were blueprints of some kind. Before that, an idea like, what if? All this is just your brain trying to find a path of least resistance. Yeah, it's lazy, but emotions have a lot to do with whether an action is repeated or never done again. On the inside, every think you've ever thunk is actually an electrical chemical signal which is fired down a chain of neurons. Every time there's a positive emotional response, the brain says, okay, let's save that for later. Then the chain itself forms a kind of insulation, like electrical wires. Each time the same pattern fires, the thicker and stronger this insulation becomes, not only protecting it, but also making the signal pass way faster to a point where you don't even notice. It becomes habit. The OG reasons your subconscious uses to make these habits might even contradict your new conscious thoughts. Like, a hated job. But subconsciously, your brain is fine with it because, hey, it pays the bills. It's stable. Yeah, it sucks now, but we have a home. We can pay the bills. And we can forget about it and chill out with movies and games. The flip is quitting and following your passion, which has no guarantee you'll even make it. So to your evolved brain, survival is way more important than being grumpy half the day. Now you're saying, okay, I get it, thoughts, but I can't just choose how I feel. Sometimes it's negative, sometimes it's positive. It just happens. Well, to that I say, actually, it all happens. The question, is the glass half empty or half full? This is supposed to determine you are a half full positive or half empty negative kind of person, that you were only one way or the other. But what I want you to understand is that life, like that ancient symbol of the yin and yang, and the cup, is actually completely filled with both fullness and emptiness. That's what makes the whole, negative and positive, all the time, coexisting. The key is that what you choose to focus on determines your experience in life. Whichever mindset you linger on the longest, for whatever reason, becomes easier and easier to get stuck in. You've trained your brain. It's a habit now. Everything about your life will reflect that mindset. Your body language, your attitude, how you treat others, and what opportunities you take or reject. Remember, your subconscious had some sort of reasoning on why it is doing the thing. So it's going to stay the course, even though you might consciously think it's bad. This, coupled with your negative brain training, forms like a double habit, deeply rooted and extremely hard to pull out. So you say, okay, Mr. Smarty Pants, I can choose to focus on the negative or the positive, which determines my experience in life. Okay. But I can't choose what happens to me. Sometimes bad things happen, and I can't choose to be happy when that happens. Right? You're right. You cannot choose what happens to you, but you can choose how you react to what happens to you. Let's take a mother and her teenage daughter in a heated argument. You can swap genders on both, and you've probably been the teen or the parent. Say this argument is going strong, yelling at the top of their lungs, and their faces are all flushed. Then the phone rings. The mom answers it all pissed off, and it's her boss. Instantly, her tone calms down and is even respectful to her boss, right? Her actual internal emotion changes. Her face color normals out. She doesn't want to lose her job after all, right? The conversation ends and she calmly hangs up the phone and immediately begins to yell at her daughter again, right where she left off. It was a bad event which caused her uncontrollable anger with her daughter, right? So if she couldn't control her reaction, then why did it change with her boss? That's because her emotions are simply reactions based on how we perceive what's right in front of us. What we focus on determines what we see. Since we can choose what to focus on, then we can choose how to react. The mother figured if she continued yelling, she could lose her job. And so she changed her reaction. She wanted her daughter to listen, so she used the anger and a loud voice to attempt control. She was in control of her emotions the entire time, choosing what to focus on and on what times. So if we can indeed control our reactions, then we need to derail the subconscious, habitual negative thinking. We must forcibly create new conscious positive patterns that'll override the negative, allowing us to find a path out. Change your mindset, change your reality. Okay, so how? How do we see any positivity in an emotionally overwhelming negative situation? Remember, the negative and positive are both there, side by side, even if you can't see one over the other. We must use our conscious mind to forcibly inject that positive thought in there. But you can't just make it up out of thin air. Your brain will see right through that trick and ignore it. This is why positive affirmations don't necessarily work. Instead, though, you must show it something good you already have, something that really exists. The positive comes from a good emotion already attached to it. Gratitude. Like a muscle, you have to train that brain to see what's right in front of you. Choose to see the positive that already exists in your life, and your brain will strengthen that thought. Do these enough times, and thinking positive will become a habit, and new positive opportunities will present themselves to get you unstuck. Okay, so your homework is every day, I want you to think of 3 things that you are grateful for. Write them down on a piece of paper, a journal, or even like digital, like with an Apple Pencil like I do. It cannot be typed. It must be physically written by your hands, in block letters or cursive. I don't care. Each day, though, they must be new and different things. Repetition is what builds new patterns and new habits, leading you to more positive mindset with new eyes on how to solve previously unsolvable problems. Yeah. This is new, I get it, and it will not be easy, but nothing worth it ever is. You can do this. I did. Keep at it. Don't quit. Then you will only succeed. The feeling of knowing that you can pull yourself out of this seriously takes the weight off. I'm telling you. It's awesome when you can ask, what else can I do? But for now, that is how you begin the journey toward a better life. Join me at my new scheduled time next Wednesday at 8 a.m. when we take a dive into discovering what burns inside you, who you are, and why you do the things you do. It will feel great. You can do this. Remember, where there's a will, there's a way. I'm your host, Will Ramos, and this is Will's Way.